Hey everybody. Well, today I thought we could take a walk down memory lane by looking at this right here. Now, this is Big Mouth Billy Bones. Oh my gosh. Now, for those of you that remember these things, the original version of this was Billy Bass, the singing fish. And then over the years, there was different variations of him that came out. And I think it came out originally in 1981. And then this, I'm not exactly sure when this came out. This probably came out in about the mid-90s is my guess. But I'll show you Billy Bass to kind of give you an idea of what these things actually were. Okay, so now I think just about everybody in the 80s knew of this little guy or knew somebody that had one or had one themselves. So this was Big Mouth Billy Bass. And he was the singing fish, and he was always just really hilarious. Now let's try a couple of, he had two different songs, so let's go ahead and try the first one here.
Drop me in the water. Take me to the river. Put me in the water.
Okay, and then he had this song that everybody knows.
Here's a little song I wrote. Might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy.
Okay, so this is an original Billy Bass. It came out back in, I think, 81, like I mentioned. Now, I did have to make some repairs on this. One of the problems with a lot of these animatronic things back then is that they had these plastic gears, these little plastic gears that would always split over time. And that's because the plastic would shrink and they're on these metal rods in there, and then they'd split. So thankfully I was able to get some more of those gears, take this entire thing apart, replace the gear, and the gear is what makes his head turn outward like that. Everything else worked, his mouth worked and his tail, his head wouldn't turn out. But thankfully I was able to fix him. Now, later on, they came out with this, and this was the Jaws shark, Bruce the shark. And this one looks really cool. You can see what he looks like. Now, this one here had the same issue where his head wouldn't turn out. And I did fix it at one point, but unfortunately, the piece that was inside there, it's hard to find it. And this is what the piece looks like. So if I can focus in on it. So you can see here, it has a split. And this was notorious for this kind of plastic. It's kind of like this plastic we can see on here. Now, I did manage to recreate this piece out of styrene plastic, and it held up for quite a while, but now it looks like it's broken in there. I think I took that Jaws shark apart like a dozen times trying to figure out what the problem was. And so, unfortunately, you cannot find these, at least with the gears, which are these. They're usually an 8-tooth gear or a 10-tooth gear. These are pretty readily found on eBay or Amazon or whatever. But this piece here, good luck trying to find that. Okay, so going back to good old Bruce here. Now I will turn him on. Now just keep in mind that his head is supposed to come out when he sings, when his mouth moves. But here we go.
And show them pearly white. The jackknife and old Maggie dead out of sight from a tugboat down on the river, don't you know? The cement bag is dropping down. The cement bag just for the weight, yeah. Stop and get your 10. Old Maggie's back in town.
The old Mac the Knife song. I think Bobby Darin sang that. So you can kind of see his head kind of tries to move a little bit, but whatever that piece that I made that replaced the one I just showed you, I think it must have slipped in there, or maybe it just broke. I'm not really sure. But both Jaws and Billy Bass up there, they both run on C batteries. And you can also plug them in down here. There's like a connection down here so you can plug them in. Maybe it's right there. No, that's the sensor. You could either push the button to activate them, or there was a sensor when you waved your hand and they'd start up. But these also had an adapter you could plug in as well. All right, so let's get back to Billy Bones here. Now, I think this came out 15 years later. According to that, it says 15 years and still singing, which is great. So this one here, I think, is pretty much new. This one actually has lights, so you'll see his eyes light up. So this one was a little more creepier of a version. Another thing I like is it uses AA batteries versus C batteries, which is good. So I think possibly this was opened only to probably take the batteries out or change them. I'm not really sure. But I'm curious to see how he works. I hope everything works on him because, like I mentioned, those gears have a terrible habit of splitting. So I'm hoping that that's not the case with this. Otherwise, I'm going to have to take this apart and fix that as well. All right, so yeah, it looks like he's still original. Look at that. Okay, well, let me get him out of the rest of this package because it looks like he's attached still. Okay, well, let me get him out of here and we'll take a look at him. Okay, so I got him out of the box. This was a brand new Billy Bones. He still had the original clamps on the back and everything. It's really wild. I had to cut him out of the box. So I took the back off already just to show you, I mean, I should say the battery compartment that he does use for AA batteries. Now, I'm not sure how these haven't started to leak yet. I've always had problems with Duracells leaking. And so I did some research on this, and these came out around 2000, and Billy Bass came out around 1999 and 2000. I thought he came out in the 80s. I could have sworn, but I guess not. And so Gemmy, of course, is the company that makes these, and Gemmy is one that makes all these awesome animatronic things like the Halloween stuff. So, so far these batteries are okay. I'll probably swap them. Now this here is the stand that pops out, and just like Billy Bass and the Jaw Shark, this thing is a little bit hard to pop out of there. Now, when I did pop it, something in here started rattling. Hear that? So I'm going to have to probably take this apart and take out whatever it is. It's probably a piece of plastic that broke or something because I couldn't get it to pop out originally. So I'll have to see what it is because I don't want that getting into the mechanism of Billy Bones. There's a bunch of gears and stuff in there. So that's what that looks like on the back. Now, I also found out that there's another version of this that the plaque is a little bit bigger and it looks more like a tombstone. It looks like it's made of stone or something and it has RIP, rest in peace on it. And so that one actually has a cooler looking, backplate. But I think that one is a glow-in-the-dark version. This one here, they got rid of the glow-in-the-dark and they have the eyes light up and his mouth light up. So there's all kinds of different versions of these. It's actually kind of crazy to try to keep up with which ones are which. All right, well, let me get him set up and then I'll turn him on and we'll see what he does. All right, so I turned the lights down so we can appreciate the lighting in his head. Now, I hope I can actually upload this video because there's a bunch of songs on here and I don't know if I'm going to get trademark issues with it. Now, this guy here, he only sings one song while the other one sang two other songs. Well, the Jaw Shark only had one song as well. But this one sings George Thorogood's Bad to the Bone. All right, so let's try him out. On the day that I was born, we was all gathered round, and we gave the white wonders, and the joy they found. Then nurse woke up, and Jesus was alone. She could tell right away that I was bad in the bone, bad in the bone, bad in the bone. Oh, wow, that's awesome. I love how when he goes bad, his mouth actually does move that quickly. That's really good. So you can see the way his face looks right here. I don't think there's a light on the back eye, but it wouldn't be necessary. You can see his nice bony face on here. This is really cool. So, the mechanism, when I took apart Jaws, it's quite a mechanism to, here, let me turn up the lights. It's quite the mechanism to make the tail and the head move at the same time. And I think that's why there was that one specific piece in there. Hopefully he doesn't have that piece, because if that ever breaks, you know, how the heck am I ever going to get one of those? But, you know, for considering, you know, the year that this came out, it's pretty complicated. It's a pretty interesting and intricate thing going on in there. Quite a few different gears and stuff. But yeah, this is cool. This is the only one that I was missing. Well, I shouldn't say that. There's a whole bunch of other versions of Billy Bass. There's like a Trout, and they reissued one, and yeah, they've had so many different ones. And I think there might have been a knockoff brand that wasn't Gemmy. I'm not sure either. But I do love these. And there's also a video on YouTube where some genius took, I don't know, like 30 or 40 of the Billy Basses, and they all were synchronized. I mean, the guy must have spent just months and months, if not years, setting it up. And I think it's at some bar somewhere. When you go up the stairs, all these Billy Bass are along the wall, and they're all synchronized when they sing. It is the coolest thing. So you'll have to try to find it. If I can find the link to the video, I'll put it in the description so you can check it out, because it was pretty amazing that he was able to pull that off. But there we go. This is Billy Bones. You can still find these, and if you can find one brand new like this one that's still working really good, that's great. All right, well, let's do them one more time here, and then I can close this out, but I just wanted to show you how cool he is. On the day that I was born, this is all gathered around, and they gave me my wonders, and the joy they found. And this was good, the day that was wrong, you fell right away, and I was bad in the bone, bad in the bone, bad in the bone, bad, oh man, I love these things. They're so cool. I bet George Thorogood got quite a bit of royalties from that. All right, well, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked it. And if you did, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. I'd very much appreciate it. And until the next time, I'll see you on the next video. So thanks so much for watching, and have a good one.